So, hi, Arthur. Today we are broadcasting our dialogue with my community and your community, and I hope that we're gonna share some information about each other now to make sort of introduction about each other. Let me start, if you don't mind. I'm the CEO of Wallet, it's a cryptocurrency wallet that supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash. We have an exchange integrated, and you can buy crypto inside Lumi. It's a fully client-side wallet. So we, as a company, we do not have access to users' funds. So it's the most secure and private way of keeping crypto nowadays. And so we are really trying to create the product that is very easy to use for newcomers, for the beginners, but to keep it safe and have this also of advanced technologies for all users. Let us know more about you, about your project.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, thanks for having me on this Q&A. Yeah, I actually have a pretty non-traditional background as well. I started my career in finance, and I was working on Wall Street. And then after a few years, I realized that tech was eating the world, and that technology was disrupting not just finance, but every single industry. So at that point, I didn't know how to code. So I had a pretty, I spent a few days thinking like, hey, if I want to be an entrepreneur, if I want to be part of this technological revolution, how do I position myself for the next 40 years of my career? And that's when I realized that I have to learn how to code in order to really understand the trends that are happening. And so back in 2013, I started learning how to code. I was lucky that my twin brother was actually also interested in the same thing. So we both started learning Ruby, JavaScript, Python, ended up doing coding bootcamps, which back in 2015 were pretty novel. And afterwards, we got jobs as software engineers. And probably less than 6 months, we went from knowing very little coding to actually working as software engineers. So that was the first moment where our lives flipped 180 degrees. We started working in tech. And this was also actually during the same time that crypto was rising and Bitcoin was becoming more mainstream. And we used to go to the meetups, reading about Satoshi's white paper, just kind of diving head in. And we've been following blockchain ever since.
Okay, that's really cool. Actually, we also joined the market in 2017, so even before the real boom has came up. So, let's discuss our main point of today. Actually, the main subject of our discussion is the future of work, and I know that you really work a lot in this field. What do you consider to be the most significant things that have already changed the industry, this of future of work?
Yeah, definitely. So at my current company, Career Karma, we basically help people that want to change careers figure out what are the in-demand skills and how to obtain them. And most of the people, on Career Karma are actually adults all over the world who, some of them went to get a college degree, some of them didn't. But nowadays, the information is so readily available that it's almost like if there's anything you want to learn how to do, you can learn on YouTube, you can learn on, there's a plethora of websites. And so Career Karma is an online community that helps people get connected with each other. And through peer mentorship, through coaching, you're able to discover new skills and then ultimately get jobs. So we actually have a lot of folks so talking about future of work, there's a few different skill sets that are required. It's no longer just, look, you get a college degree and then there's gonna be a cookie cutter job waiting for you. Nowadays, you have to almost dive head in, pursue your passions, see what type of skills are in demand, and position your career for those professions. So what we're seeing now in terms of demand, so there's a huge demand for software engineers, designers, blockchain engineers, product management, cybersecurity. So these are the skill sets that in some ways are applicable across the board, but each of them is very specialized. So, a blockchain engineer needs to understand not just the principles of coding, but also understanding how Ethereum or Solidity or other blockchain languages work. So the good thing is once you have the foundation of coding, you could pick up a lot of these skill sets. And there's actually a lot of courses nowadays where you can spend 3 months on Udacity or Udemy taking this course and end up working as a blockchain engineer pretty soon after. So yeah, we're helping thousands of people nowadays get into these in-demand jobs.
Yeah, I also believe that like fast learners today is like the most valuable skill that is in demand. So you don't really need a sort of degree, but you need to understand things quickly, like to grasp them,
Yeah.
to change your knowledge from the industry to the another one, just to keep always like yourself updated, what's going on, how to understand new things. And actually, you have mentioned about like the most valuable sort of what type of employee is going to be the most valuable, and you have told about like engineers, designers. It's like something that's obvious for most of the engineer, or I can't coding, what can I do in information, like in sort of projects. But one of the most like valuable thing is to find the manager for any type of project, and it's like really
Yeah.
trial. Like I'm really struggling with sort of searching for people who can take risks for projects that who can manage them, and who do not think that like IT project is something that they cannot
Yeah.
understand. Like, because basically, if you use something in normal, like in general, they can agree on this. But if you say like information technologies,
Yeah.
really grasp. But I hope that such prejudice gonna disappear soon, because we really need more talented people, more talented like sort of entrepreneurs who are ready to join projects, trying who can just understand new fields like crypto, for example. Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of employees you're searching currently, for example, for Career Karma? I mean, what's how to call, like set of skills that you really
Yeah.
try to.
Yeah. So there's a lot of like pretty much with any team, you need to have players that have expertise in specific roles. So with Career Karma, we have a pretty significant engineering and tech team. So we're always looking to hire engineers, designers, product managers, but also folks that have more like business skills or sales skills, account management skills, and there's actually a lot of transferable skills from regular industries like maybe retail or finance or consulting, and you can transfer a lot of those skills over to tech. You're gonna be challenged to learn a lot of the technical lingo, but once you get past that initial barrier, a lot of the things like team dynamics wise are very similar to other industries. You need people that are believe in the mission, people who can take ownership, who can take risk, who are reliable, right? So these are all common factors across the board. And for startups, especially, there's a lot more startups that will take a risk on you. So even if you're based in Africa or if you're based in Eastern Europe, if there's a company you want to work for, send them an email, reach out to them, explain how you could add value to their team, and then just find a way to get your foot in the door, and then you can grow from within. And once people start, it's very easy to get recognized for your contributions once you're on the inside. So try to find your way in, and then you can work your way inside. There's always, problems that need to be solved. So if you're a problem solver, you'll figure it out.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think also that if you once have tried to work in IT, you would never go back because you just,
True.
yeah, you know how convenient it is to work from wherever you are, and you're always online with your computer. You can move around the world, and you just really like enjoying the life, and you have the real like work-life balance. Even if you're like a really hard worker. So just for me,
Definitely.
really the solution for such people who are really like career addicted, but but they can still stay home. So it's really good.
Yeah.
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 Uh,
There's definitely a lot of perks.
yeah. Also, we have really like a big struggle in blockchain and crypto industry that a lot of people just think that like really something difficult. Even it's like even if people have already worked in IT, they still do not move
Yeah.
to blockchain because they think it's like sort of something that's impossible to get on. So, and I think that the goal of our companies is to educate people around the world to see that blockchain is not something like from the universe, like you have on your background, but it's
Yeah.
like really something easy to understand. And for example, in Lumi, we are really trying to uh, produce educational content for our users. And I think that it's not only for users, for those, we are also writing for those who just want to work for us, work remotely, or to maybe to work as even as a copywriter, for example. If you're a copywriter, you will really learn a lot about the industry, and later on you can work in different positions because you already have written a lot of things about crypto. You understand it deeply, and so on. The same thing with the support, for example. The support team, they really understand a lot of things in crypto because they work with problems, with their
Yeah.
case, and they really go deep. So, for example, if you have never worked, you have never no experience in crypto and blockchain, and you just go work as a support manager, for example, you
Yeah.
probably will become one of the most valuable employees later because you can be
Yeah.
promoted for a better position as a manager. As far as you really understand the product deeply, you really understand the industry, you understand the needs from your users, for example, and you see how the market is moving. So I really think that as a company, my like sort of goal or the aim to show that people that blockchain is not something difficult. It's something that you just can learn about, even from working, I don't know, from any position,
Yeah.
and then you grow fast, really fast. Do
Yeah.
you?
Definitely.
What can you add about it?
Yeah, I agree, and especially like some people discount, or maybe they think like being in customer support or in more like traditionally, if you're in customer support, you might be considered, oh, you're kind of at the bottom of the ranking. But one of the best ways to learn the industry, like you're saying, is by being on the front lines, speaking to users, speaking to customers, understanding their problems, and then communicating those issues to the product team, to the engineering team, and being the kind of middle person connecting both the users and internal teams. And that's a very valuable role. And if you can master that, then you could potentially rise within the support team, or you could, switch to product management, which actually we're seeing a lot of folks kind of progress into more like high-paying roles starting in support, because like you're saying, you really understand the users and their problems, and then you're able to provide a very different perspective, than someone that has the product management skills but isn't as familiar with the user's issues, and you kind of need both in order to be successful.
Yeah, but I think that really today we should help sort of traditional education to translate more in schools or in, I don't know, higher education, to show more from this field, to educate, maybe to be like a guest speakers in some universities, just to keep it like to show young generation, like all of us who are, to show them
Yeah,
that they have really like a huge potential, even if you have zero experience today. We just need
yeah,
to show them that there are a lot of positions where they can just show their potential. And
yeah, definitely.
I also believe that such sort of education in middle education or higher education also help people to use crypto more wisely. Today, for example, like not today, for about a year or more, we have one of the biggest problem that users really do not understand what they're doing. So they can just share their mnemonics with someone. They do not understand what is the fee, how to pay for crypto, what fee is going for, who are the miners, what this all about. So I believe that educational content is really something really, really valuable and in demand today. So those who want to create very valuable content, and they're really good content makers, as I believe you are, really can make a really great job, like a really great work now for the industry.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and there's a lot of courses you could take as well. The traditional universities aren't as up to date, but there's actually a lot of great engineers that have created their own courses on Udacity or Udemy, or even there's coding bootcamps now that teach blockchain, and you get, first of all, like being taught by, people from the industry, so you're going to be learning the latest skills, and they're going to be helping you learn the tools and understanding like how it works, how to build projects, how do you build on top of the blockchain. So yeah, there's a lot of, if you go on Career Karma and you search for blockchain boot camps, you'll be able to see a number of schools that will, in a matter of 3 to 6 months, give you the foundation so you can build your own projects or even go and work for a different company.
Yeah. So actually, we always have sort of questions from our users or listeners, just to
Yeah.
tell more about crypto and blockchain, just to explain it better. I really want to listen to your perspective. How do you usually explain your peers, like if they ask you what is the answer, what is your like vision of translating this difficult thing in an easy thing?
Yeah. And sorry, you cut out for 1 second. Did you mean like in terms of how you transfer your skills, or what was your question again?
No, if you, for example, if your friend asks you about like crypto and blockchain, how do you usually explain them what's the real, like what is it about? Like
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, so it's kind of like, it's almost an inverse of the traditional university system, which tries to give you a lot of theory and a lot of, conceptual understanding. With boot camps, it's very hands-on. So, on day one, you're going to be asked to open your computer, open a file, and start writing code. You may not know like exactly what you're doing, but they're going to walk you through, and this helped hundreds of people. Maybe some of them have helped thousands of people become, software engineers or blockchain engineers and other professions. So they already have the formula for helping someone from knowing pretty much nothing to becoming a full-fledged engineer. And so you just have to kind of trust the system, and you have to, you're going to be confused, you're going to feel challenged in a lot of points, but you can also learn a ton. And so the boot camps essentially, usually they're short, 3 to 6 months, and they break up the curriculum where every week you're learning a different technology or a different piece of the stack, or maybe a different protocol or different API. And by the time you graduate, you've already been exposed to a lot of different important technologies. So then when you're beginning to work on your own project, you at least know where to start, you know how to get something working. And if you want to apply for companies, you can already share some of your experience and really stand out, because there's a lot of software engineers, but there's not a lot of software engineers that also know blockchain. So if you have the blockchain experience, even a little bit, or Ethereum or Solidity, that could really make you stand out as a candidate, and you can get that junior job, and then you can kind of learn on the job and learn from other people on your team.
Yeah. So actually, I really I believe that when we are talking with our friends or families or something, it's like one of the way of translating of sort of education. Because what you say to your peers, they say to others, and usually I prefer to tell people that blockchain is sort of the way of keeping the data. I believe that all people understand that today data is like something, the most valuable resource in the world. So companies that accelerate a lot of data, they are the most valuable and expensive companies in the world. Currently, Google, Facebook, they process millions of data every day. So, and of course, if you have this data, you need to keep it secure and to keep it structured in order not to let anyone to change it. So that's how really blockchain came up like to be so in demand, to keep it to structure the data and to keep it in a way that it's always let's call it it cannot be modified without agree with the community that has this data. So I mean, crypto and crypto transaction is a like sort of currency. It's like only one way of using this technology. And when we have when we have people that are saying that blockchain is crypto, it's like it's right, but it's not like fully right. Because we need to explain them that blockchain is like sort of internet, and you can build a lot of projects in the internet. And cryptocurrency is like sort of one of the projects that can use blockchain technology. So I really believe that nowadays cryptocurrency is a very, very good case that it can help educate users to see how easy and secure it can be to make transactions. And later on, we can show them that this sort of technology can be used in different fields. I don't know, in ownership of your property, in ownership of I don't know, any ownership, basically everything that says that something belongs to somebody is data. So somebody has approved that you have something. So it's like sort of data that has been also sort of transaction that someone something. So and I really want to help our users to know more about it. And now we have started to creating set of videos, like educational videos. I hope that it's going to be published soon to help our users to really like to go deeper in this topic, to understand how it works. Actually, there are a lot of videos already in YouTube, but I believe like YouTube is a new school, and we need to publish more videos that can educate our users to help them to be more wise in use cases, in order to be more secure, to understand how it works, what to avoid to be scammed. So I really want them to stay more secure. So let's move to questions from our partners. We have several questions, and I think that one of them is really interesting for you. It was from our user. He was asking, would it be a good idea to replace, at least partially, grades for tokens? He means that school teachers would give students tokens instead of grades, that they would be able to buy some extra pizza or anything for fun.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm all for like exploring different models to kind of incentivize, students. And the current education system has a lot of like it's been designed 100 years ago, before all these new technologies existed. So I think there's definitely a lot of different ways to incentivize students to do their best, to become to do well on homework, to do well on grades. So potentially there could be some ways to create and kind of gamify the learning experience. So as similar how in a video game, when you get to the next level, you get some reward. There might be some similar rewards. Like if you finish a certain grade, you might get certain tokens or points, which you could redeem in some way. It might be monetary. Maybe it's more maybe it's just points that represent your rank within the school. But yeah, there's a lot of different ways to, highlight people and reward them. And I'm all for exploring different ways to do it.
Yeah, I really appreciate sort of gamification in education because it's really motivating people to like be more addicted in this process. But I really
Yeah.
think probably it should be really, as the Odem told us, it should be replaced probably partially. Why? Because motivation, like such a short-term motivation just to eat or to spend it like
Yeah.
money is like really short, and I believe that grades is like sort of something long motivated thing. So, for example, you're studying for 11 years, or I don't know how many years in middle
Yeah.
and education, and then you have nothing. You just have eaten everything in your canteen. But if you
Yeah.
have like grades and sort of additional extra motivation from tokens, it might be really a good idea. And I also think that probably um, sometimes, I don't know if you know about such cases, but a lot of people are, let's say, they're trying to look better in CV, and they change their grades to the upper one, or they say that they have, I don't know, uh, had a better results. So
Yeah.
probably we could. I actually have heard about such projects that are transferring grades to blockchain to make it transparent. That if I remember, MIT have tried to release diplomas on blockchain to keep it sort of like secure, that nobody's trying to um, how you call it, to falsificate. I don't know if it's the right word.
Yeah.
Uh, to fish, like sort of fishing in diplomas, just to avoid fishing in diplomas and to keep
Yeah.
grades fixed. So probably
Yeah.
this will also like good cases for blockchain and education combination. Also, we have a question from Joel. I think this is for you. Um, he asked about opportunities for Africa's next generation regarding cryptocurrency and blockchain. I really know that currently, like African continent is really booming regarding cryptocurrency. There are like a lot of tons of users and tons of traffic that are just wondering Google what is crypto and how to buy Bitcoin. What do you think about
Yeah.
Africa? Huge potential.
Yeah. Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities, especially now that so many companies are going to remote work. Companies and entrepreneurs are going to be looking for talent everywhere. Before the pandemic, you had to be based in a specific city to really enjoy to participate in the ecosystems. And now everyone is remote. Maybe for the next year, maybe for the next 5 years, who knows? But if you're based in Africa, you're actually at an advantage because look, your cost of living is a lot less, and you can start learning, and you can use the same tools everyone else uses. Like you pretty much have the same advantages as anyone else. You can send an email to an entrepreneur that you want to work with. Obviously, you need to first learn about the space or really bring something unique to the table. But if you know how to code, if you know about blockchain, if you know about design, if you care about a specific problem, you could find other people around the world that would want to work with you, and you could you're no longer limited by being based in a specific country or continent. So yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities, especially like there's a school called Mandela, I think, or Andela, that's based out of Kenya, and they're also teaching software engineering for folks without any upfront payments. You basically get a job afterwards, and you pay back a percentage of your income only after you get a job. So there's a lot of interesting ways, interesting resources you can take advantage of. But if you have access to YouTube, you could pretty much learn anything you want on YouTube nowadays. And YouTube is free. You might have to watch some ads, but you can become a world-class anything by watching videos on YouTube. So the level playing field is becoming more and more fair across the board. And yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of opportunities to take some of the existing technologies that might be popular in the West and bring it to Africa or vice versa.
Yeah, I think even if you just you have learned something on YouTube, later on you can just build sort of school in any African country to keep it to translate your education to your folks, to your peers, to educate them, and probably you can just grow the community there, and later partnering with bigger companies to offer them their services that they can be managed by this company from your city, for example. And I really think that the only thing you need is just a computer and your English skills. I believe that a lot of Africans, they speak quite well English, and nothing else is needed. They just need to be motivated and uh, to try to find their own, let's call it niche, where they can be helpful. And a lot of companies, for example, Lumi, we are always searching for partners from different countries, and it would be really great to find someone from any African country who can help us to develop better in their own community, to find local partners, local medias, local, I don't know, even for example, we can translate applications for native languages that we do not know. And these people can help us to make it more, yeah, like a better product for them. I really believe it could be helpful. So I hope that actually, as I know, we're gonna have the next broadcast dedicated to African continent and the future of for their countries. So I think that we have discussed a lot of things, but my main I don't know, main point was to tell people who were listening us that today self-education is one of the most valuable resource that you have. And if you want to learn more about crypto and blockchain, you always have to find good resources. As the Lumi wallet, we are really trying to produce valuable content that can be really helpful and educational. As I know, your company is trying to do the same. Career Karma is always publishing really good articles, and
Yeah, definitely.
yeah, I hope that we can help our users and listeners to know better what is blockchain and what is crypto. And I really invite them to ask more questions in our communities in order to let us like respond them in a better, suitable content, just to keep them really enjoy and educate.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And, there's a lot of places online. Career Karma is 100% free for people to learn. So check us out. We actually have a page, and you guys can include in the show notes for best blockchain bootcamp. So you can actually find courses you could take to learn more about blockchain. But yeah, and you could always reach out to me on Twitter. I'm Arthur Meister. It's pretty easy. And yeah, I'm always happy to answer questions.
Okay, thank you very much for your time today. I think that we are finishing right now, and I hope that it was interesting for those who are listening. Please subscribe to both of our social networks. It's going to be mentioned above the video. So thank you very much, everybody, and
Yeah.
have a great day. Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.